arbitrage. Today I'm going to talk to you about a storage unit that I bought that was packed with books. Packed. I'll tell you how I got there, how it started and everything, and it's crazy. Crazy. I'm just like now finishing dealing with those books. So first, a lot of people who sell on Amazon talk about books. The hard part is where to get the books from. If you're gonna do books in bulk, I mean like by the thousands, then there's places you can buy books by the pound and stuff like that. But if you're like me, kind of small business, working out of the garage, where are you gonna get your books from? I'll tell you where I got mine from. It was storage units that come up for auction. The first one that I bought, and I'll show you a clip right here, it's coming up right now. So here's the storage unit I just bought. I just got here. 70 bucks. And it's filled with books. There's all kinds of books here. There. Before I bought it, I saw a couple pictures and I just ran a couple of books on Amazon, and from only the ones I could see, like this one and the Michelangelo book, and they were going for 30-40 bucks used. So if that's any indication of the rest of the books that are in here, then I should do pretty good. But that's the whole thing right there. I don't know how many books are in here, but I'll guess 300 books, maybe, at least. So that storage unit cost me $75. And the front of that unit, you can see it's not very deep. The front of that unit was books and the back was trash, like food garbage. So when you buy these storage units, it is kind of like it is on television. I buy them online. I don't go to the live auctions. I haven't yet. They take pictures from the front so you can see what they see without going inside. So, you know, I mean, sometimes you can see just as much as if you were there almost, depending on how well they take the photos. Anyway, I knew kind of what I was getting into. I was able to see some of the titles of the books and looked up a couple of books on Amazon, and I took a chance. The unit was 75 bucks. Long story short, there was about 300 or 400 books in there, and I used Scout IQ to scan the books. I used the ones that they said were going to be profitable, sent those into Amazon, and from that $75, my profit was approximately $450 after I sold the books that were going to sell. After a while, when the books are just going to sit there and they're going to start charging storage fees, throw them away, trash them, discard them, dispose of them. If you can, wait for when Amazon does that free disposal and just get rid of them, because you've already made your money and there's no point in trying to pay Amazon to hold on to these. If it hasn't sold by the time they're going to start charging you, then it's time to let them go. So I was like, I did really good with those books. So I keep an eye on those storage units when they come up for auction. I hardly buy any because 98% of them are trash. But another one came up, and I'll let you see this video. Here, check out this clip. So here's all the books. I did a rough count, and there's at least 6,000 books in here. There's a handful of records and a few other things, but I mean, it's just all books. All these shelves are filled with books. I'm gonna take you all the way in the back where there's almost no light, but I mean, it's a bookstore that went out of business. I actually found the bookstore online because I found something in here with the name on it. All these boxes are books. So as you can see, everything's on shelves. I mean, it looks like somebody transplanted their bookstore into the storage unit. And there had to be at least 4,000 to 5,000 books in there. I didn't do a book for book count. I just did a rough count. But there were a lot of books in there. And I am not going to lie to you, it was a lot of work. I did it mostly by myself, and here's what I did. I'll start from the beginning with that unit because that one has a lot more elements to it. I won the auction for $150. So I bought that storage unit for 150 bucks. It was 10 by 10. 5,000 books to be conservative. So I had to, they give you 48 hours to clear out the storage unit. And if you never bought a storage unit before, you better clear it out, because if you don't, you're going to lose your deposit and you're going to be banned from the website to buy storage units from them anymore. So, and they expect it not just to be emptied, but like swept clean. Like you have to sweep it out. So bring a broom and a dustpan and garbage bags. So I went to the manager, and there was no way I was going to get these books out in 48 hours. I had nowhere to put them. So they allowed me to re-rent the unit from them. That cost another $350, I want to say. I think it was $350. So now I'm in the storage unit for about 500 bucks. Then I was able to take my time, but I was going to get this done in 1 month. That was my goal, because I was not going to pay for a second month of storage. So I went through the books. I used Scout IQ, and I scanned every single book one by one by one. It took like almost 3 weeks of going there almost every day and spending the whole day there. In August, it was hot, it was dusty. So when I tell you guys that, this business is a lot of work, it's a lot of work. It's not, oh, I'll scan this and send it to Amazon and make $2. No, it's not. So then I scanned all the books. I had my plastic bins. I just went along with the Scout IQ app. When you scan it, it does a little bring when it's a book that they considered it's good to sell on Amazon, and it kind of goes when it's not. And I just followed that because there were so many books, and I wasn't going to try to, circumvent their presets. And it kind of got to a point where I'm like this. I'm like, and I'm just like fading. So I scanned all the books. I probably sent in maybe 1,000 books to Amazon. Maybe 1,000 books. So now I have 4,000 books left in this storage unit that have got to go somewhere. And the shelves and those boxes that you saw in the front were all full of books. So I started contacting first I contacted Half Price Books. Not interested. It would have been too difficult. Then I tried to contact places that take bulk books, and they're all closed because of COVID. So I contacted the privately owned small bookstores that were in the area, and some were not interested. Most of them were not interested, and then one place showed a little bit of interest, and they backed out. And then I found another place, and they sent the guy over. So now I'm thinking, okay, I'm into this storage unit for about 500 bucks, and I already sent in books to Amazon for FBA. So now I'm thinking, okay, I need to get at least minimum 500 bucks out of the storage unit just to cover myself, just to cover my expenses so far. So the guy comes by and he takes a look and he says, yeah, we're interested, but he's not the shot caller. And the owner of the bookstore couldn't be bothered to come. So I'm just thinking, I told the guy, I said, okay, I'm asking 1,200 bucks for this storage unit. You guys can take over the rental from the storage place, or you need to have everything out of here by Friday, which was like a week away or less. It was a little less than a week away. And I said, either way, I want to walk away from it. I don't care what you do. So he got back to me, and he says that the owner, who I still haven't met or talked to, he says the owner would give you the $1,200, but they want you to deliver the books. She wants you to deliver the books to our store. And I'm like, you saw what was in there. Those shelves were like 8 feet tall, full of books. I'm just a regular guy. I have a full-time job. I don't have the time or the resources to transport this stuff. So I tell him this, and he says, well, if you don't want to transport the books to us or deliver the books to us, then the most we can give you is $500. And I was like, oh man, I didn't want to settle for that, but I don't want to lose this guy. He's the only one who's interested. So I shoot him back a number. I said, listen, man, do $800. I said, I think that's fair for everyone. I came down quite a bit. $800, take over the unit. I walk away, and you can either transport them. You can rent this place from them. At your leisure, you can come and go through some books, bring them to your store, back and forth. Their store was only 20 minutes away, so it wasn't that bad. So he gets back to me and he says, no, the owner won't go over $500, but she said that if you deliver the books to us, we'll give you $1,400. And now I'm like, oh, and I'm thinking, at first I'm thinking they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, it's not going to cost them $700 to bring those books to their store. So I told them, I said, okay, you know what? I'll do it. So now, of course, I have to find the time. And, my next day off was like 3 days past the date where I'd have to renew the storage unit. So luckily, the storage place, if you tell them in advance, at least this place, they said they would do it day by day. So and it was like, I don't know, it was like $10 a day or something like that. So I told them, okay, let's do that. Let's do the day by day until this day, until Tuesday. So they did it, and so that didn't cost me too much more. I rented a U-Haul, and I got my buddy's kids who are in high school to come and help me, because it would have taken me 2 days if I tried to do it myself. So we got there, and and you'll see the pictures here. In fact, check these pictures out. I shrink wrapped the shelves, loaded them on the truck, because those shelves were pretty solid, luckily. So I loaded the shelves and I delivered them to the store, loaded shelves. Okay. Now I had to make 2 trips, which I didn't want to do, but I still got it done in 1 day. And this is where the story gets interesting. When I started delivering the books, a guy who I didn't know or hadn't met or never dealt with was there, and he started complaining that there's too many books. And I said, you bought them, and I'm here to deliver them. So I started wheeling these shelves and boxes into their store, and he's like, well, we're out of room, and I'm going to lose more money than I'm going to pay you, and with all this. And I said, well, first of all, that's not my problem. And second of all, why can't you see the big picture here? You're setting up your business for the next 2 or 3 years or longer with these books. So I said, listen, the shelves are shrink wrapped. I'm leaving them on the sidewalk. So I started putting shelves on the sidewalk right in front of the store. So I had to make my second trip. And when I came back with the second load and also the last load, the same guy who's been giving me a hard time this whole time says, oh yeah, we're really out of room, and there's a Salvation Army. I said, hold on, you can stop right there. You're paying me to deliver these books here, and that's what I'm going to do. If you want me to bring them somewhere else, it's going to cost you $400. You choose. And he just walked away. So, okay, hey, it's my time, and I'm renting this truck. So we delivered the books right on the sidewalk. They paid me cash. I got out of there. So that was the unit. Now the unit is done. It's over. It's off my shoulders. I was stressed, I'm not going to lie, because I didn't know what the hell I was going to do with those books that weren't valuable or on Amazon. I had nowhere to put them. I wasn't going to rent this unit, but luckily, somebody bought it. So, and that again, by itself, that in and of itself was a hustle to call these places and talk to the owners and try to find somebody interested, especially during this time. So I did that. Now, the unit, gone. Now I have all these books at Amazon, hoping that they sell. I will tell you, the books got to Amazon in August. Now it is September, beginning of October. So we're in the beginning of October right now. So it's been 6 weeks. Yeah, maybe 6 weeks I would say that those books have been on Amazon FBA. And to date, I have profited $6,000 from the books that I sent in to Amazon for FBA. And there's still books there. So I'm going to pop up a couple of screenshots of the Scout IQ app and what it showed me for a few of the books. And really, it's just a few. Most of the books were, I don't know, $2, $3, $4, $5 profit, more, because I mean, I paid $150 for the unit. I was into the unit for what, between $500 and $700 after all my other expenses. So I'm gonna tell you, it was still difficult. I came here with a load of books. I had already scanned them with Scout IQ. Now I had to rescan them with Inventory Lab to input them into the system. Every book required a label. I had to use my best judgment on the grading of the book. And I always tried to go a little bit below what I thought it was to me. Because it was a bookstore, most of those books were like brand new. But, I would put as like new. And if it was a little dinged up, I would put very good. So I didn't get any complaints. I mean, people are going to complain no matter what, but you do the best you can. So every book required a label. Every box I put together was 30 pounds. Luckily, I did UPS pickup, but believe me, the UPS guy was not happy to be picking up 20 boxes that weighed 30 pounds each. I mean, I tried to help him as much as I could if I was home, but I felt bad, kind of. But I'm paying for the service, so what, right? But at the end of the day, to wrap things up here, I was into that storage unit for, what did I say, maybe $700 to $800 after the rental, after buying the auction, after re-renting it, after renting the U-Haul and paying those guys to help me out. Let's say I was into it for like $800. I still made $600 just dumping the unit onto another bookstore. Then I've made $6,000 in profit on Amazon from those books. So if you find the right deal, books can be worth it. It is hard work. So be ready if you're going to buy any amount of books. Even that first unit that I bought was still a lot of work. And I would do it again, but I am sure that I cannot sell any more books to that bookstore. So I'm going to have to find somewhere else. But that's all I have. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I will do my best to answer them for you. And, keep looking for those deals. Keep looking for those deals. Especially if you are interested in getting started in books, look for books. You will find them. So, thanks again for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.